Halftime at Hudson Memorial Stadium, exactly as advertised. The number 2 seed, Kent Roosevelt, the number 3 seed, Aurora. Both of them very formidable here in the Division II playoffs. We're in the regional semifinal round here in the second week of the playoffs. Michael Reghi with Ryan Cavanaugh and Amanda Turk, 13 apiece, as we, of course, know you've enjoyed this first 24 minutes of football. And Ryan, we advertised it as the outstanding run game, so formidable that averages almost 270 yards per game by Aurora, and Kent Roosevelt's pass game with Trayvon Chapman, and that's exactly what we've gotten. No doubt about that.
Certainly. And the first drive was indicative. I was sitting here saying, whoa, is this Aurora team gonna run away with it? 3 plays, all runs, Jake McVeigh long touchdown run, and I almost expected to see that the rest of the half. But to credit the Kent Roosevelt defense, they stood up. They manned up front on the defensive line and held them. No
doubt they did. All right, let's take a look at Jake McVeigh and this exceptional first half he has had tonight. And we talked about how very much of a mindset this offensive line had, but McVeigh got them going early on.
Well, that's where he was dangerous. Here is in the open field, and you have the entire green men blocking. First drive right off the bat, as we mentioned. And real quick, look how elusive he is, a real tough runner, always moving forward. And, of course, the screen pass, which he scored on. Here's a little pitch action, making people miss behind the line of scrimmage. That's what McVeigh is so good at. And here he is keeping the play alive here. This was a 29-yard reception deep on their own end, which got them out and kept that drive going. And then, of course, we're going to see the touchdown here on the throwback to Jake McVeigh. Blocking downfield, Smirzak, and here you go, Jake McVeigh. Second touchdown. Look at those numbers, 70 receiving, 61 rushing. And, a lot of those receiving were on that screen pass. You can almost call a screen pass a run play, right?
Yeah, it's an extended handoff.
Right.
And most productive the entire, all the weapons, George Bolus, Zach Quinn, Jake McVeigh, that head coach Bob Mahalik has at his disposal. Hope you're enjoying our Wayside Furniture halftime report. Wayside, bringing it your way. Better furniture and price lower. Michael Reghi with Ryan Cavanaugh. All right, let's flip it over now and take a look at Kent Roosevelt's Rough Riders. And Trayvon Chapman, as we said, we build him exactly how he stands stature-wise, a Mr. Ohio football candidate, and he has had a brilliant first half.
Right, well, the rushing attack comes from Chapman, the passing attack comes from Chapman. And when plays break down coverage or pressure, Trey Chapman has been able to do it with his feet to keep plays alive. As you see right here, there's been 41 plays run offensively by Kent Roosevelt, 16 rushes by Trey Chapman, and 25 passes by Trayvon Chapman. So what we expected coming in was Trey Chapman was going to have his hand in all the plays, and literally, he's had his hand in all the plays.
A bona fide Mr. Ohio football candidate as the playoffs put the talents of a Trayvon Chapman on display. All right, we through the month of November see all of the courage and how high school football is exemplified through all the young men that play it here in the state of Ohio. When you talk about being courageous and with an outstanding outlook on one's future, let's go down on the field here at Hudson Memorial Stadium as Amanda Turk is joined by a young man that truly exemplifies that will always wear the colors of Kent Roosevelt very close to his side. Amanda, go ahead.
Thanks, Michael. Ryan Anderson's a name in Kent that a lot of people know. As a junior, he played football and was outstanding, receiving multiple letters from Division I schools and was ranked among the best in the state. But in April of 2011, people learned his name for a different reason. What started as persistent knee pain, something that isn't necessarily uncommon in athletes, turned into his worst nightmare. Ryan was told he had a rare form of bone cancer and he would never be able to play football again. After months of tests and treatment, he's now cancer-free, and he joins me now. Ryan, take me back to the day you started having knee pain and the few weeks that followed.
Well, it was definitely a trying time, not only for me, but for everybody else. It was a time where, everybody else was affected. you know, I had hopes and dreams. Everybody had those dreams for me too, you know. So it was hard for the team, it was hard for the school, it was hard for my family, it was hard for myself, but thankfully everybody was strong enough and strong with me, and they really did get me through it.
Now, when you hear you're not allowed to play football ever again, what's your first thought? You're in high school, you're getting looked at by all these Division I colleges. How did you deal with that?
Yeah, well, it's tough just because ever since I was a little kid, you know, I wanted to play football. You know, it's what I've been working at my whole life, you know. And God gave me a big body and athletic body, you know, and it was tough, but living's a lot more important than playing football any day for anybody, you know. So I really felt that if I could pull through, you know, football, I always feel football ends sometime for anybody, you know, but we always have to just keep on living, you know, and that's really the mindset I kept in.
Now, with your football team, you know, they're kind of like your second family. How were you able to tell them, and how were you able to help them?
Yeah, it was really tough telling them. I started off when I first found out I had a tumor. I only told my two closest friends, you know, and it was tough. Just because I didn't feel like I was letting them down, you know, but no, I was putting them through a tough time, you know. And you know, everybody rallied behind me, including our city and even the cities around us, like Ravenna. You know, Kent-Ravenna is one of the biggest rivalries in Ohio, and they had the heart enough to do a fundraiser for me. You know, so it doesn't even come down to my team really. It comes down to, you know, football, because it really is a fraternity. You know.
Now, Ryan, you're very close with Coach Nemec, and he happens to be very close with Coach Tressel as well. Tell me about that relationship that developed there and the surprise that he sent you one day.
Yeah. Well, Coach Tressel and Ohio State, they were recruiting me obviously through my football career, and when I got diagnosed, Coach Nemec reached out to Ohio State and Jim Tressel, and the whole team sent me personal letters written from every coach, every player. And really, when all the other teams that had either offered me or were recruiting me, they never called a single time after I got sick, you know. And just to have somebody as prestigious as Ohio State reach out, you know, they're a big school, and just to have them reach out, you know, it really did help and really motivated me a lot. Just because when they don't need to care about me, you know, but just the fact that they did really meant a lot.
Now, you had months of intense treatment, chemotherapy. What was the feeling when you were told that you were cancer-free?
You know, it was just a big relief, because I had been fighting for 9 months with chemo and surgery and hard times, and just to be on December, I think it was December 22nd, you know, a couple days before Christmas, you know, it was the best gift I could have gotten, you know, because it really is a tough time just with the pains and the suffering, you know, being sick and being away from everybody, because I missed the fourth grading period in the first semester of my senior year, you know, so it's tough not being away or not being with everybody, you know. So, you know, it was definitely one of the greatest days, walking out of that hospital and looking back, and you know, I was done, I was finished, and you know, I get to live on.
Now, you graduated in the spring, but you came back and you've been here with them all week. What advice did you give them, and how do you think they've done so far in the first half?
You know, we got here last year, and you know, we made history getting to the second round, you know, and this team's not content, and that's really what I wanted them to focus on, was getting to the top. You know, we got here, what, three out of 4 last years, and it's just it's comfortable with us now, you know, and we just need to take them to those next steps. You know, we need to play together. We play together, work together, and just keep throwing punches. You know, we can get through it.
Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today. You're truly, truly inspirational. And good luck with everything throughout the rest of your life.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Amanda, we appreciate that. And Ryan and I had a chance to spend about 15 minutes at practice on Wednesday with Kent Roosevelt's Ryan Anderson and Ryan Cavanaugh. The thing that, as we take a look at him again, the young man, Division I, West Virginia, Pitt, Michigan State among those that, but his outlook and how inspirational he is, and for him to have this kind of go forward about him in terms of not making it about woe is me, it truly was gripping when we chatted with him.
A touching story, and he echoed the same thing he just told Amanda, which was the permanency of life compared to football. And he knew, and he had a very good grasp on, there was a lot that I could have done with this sport, but there's a lot more I can do with my life going forward. And between that and hearing Coach Nemec tell the story and seeing him getting choked up, and he's probably told that story 100 times, and every time it's as if he was reliving it. Just from player to coach to the rest of the team, and for him to come back on a Wednesday to see his team practice shows how close-knit this group of guys is. And my last point on that, I talked about being excited. Look, I graduated last year. This is still my team.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about that. As he is with them, I asked him about possible coaching in his future, and I don't know about that, but he certainly was moved, too, by the outpouring from the Ohio State football program that Jim Tressel orchestrated. Ryan Anderson, keep an eye on him, a profile encouraged to be sure. Best to your world, young man. We're tied at 13 at the half. More Wayside Furniture halftime report coming up. We welcome you back. Wayside Furniture halftime report here at Hudson Memorial Stadium. Great to have you with us tonight on Sports Time Ohio, weekend number 2 of the OHSAA high school playoffs. Of course, you're home for all of the action. Football just being one of the sports that championships are decided. You see it all here on Sports Time Ohio. With Ryan Cavanaugh and Amanda Turk, I'm Michael Reghi. Let's take a look at all the pertinent numbers from the first 24 minutes of football. And no surprise, the rush yards heavily skewed to Bob Mahalick's Aurora Green Men. The pass yards dominated by John Nemec's Riders of Kent Roosevelt.
What stands out to me is on third down conversions, Aurora's 4 of 5. Kent Roosevelt only 1 of 9, then take a step lower. 3 of 4 for Kent Roosevelt on fourth down. What that tells me is Coach Nemec is not afraid to leave it all out there on the field today, and his team is responding.
And he got tremendous work with a 43-yard and then a 34-yard field goal, a pair of them from Jose Roca, as they had leads of 13-6 before the second touchdown of Jake McVeigh in the opening half tied it up. 13-13, Aurora, Kent Roosevelt. Good one going on, the regional semifinals. We're back to Hudson in a moment. Back at Hudson Memorial Stadium, we are tied at 13 apiece. Outstanding first 24 minutes of football. I cannot amplify that enough for you, as the third-seeded Green Men of Aurora try to advance, as do the second-seeded Rough Riders of Kent Roosevelt. Michael Reghi with Ryan Cavanaugh. Now, tomorrow night here on Sports Time Ohio, our pals Mike Cairns and Greg Fry are going to have a good one that you're going to want to hone in on. Tune in at 7 o'clock as they'll kick it off as the number 1 seed and the top-ranked team in the state of Ohio in Division I. The Eagles of St. Ed's will tangle with those Mentor Cardinals, which should be an offensive absolute treat for everybody.
Everybody knows about Mitch Trubisky, the North Carolina recruit, but Ryan Fallon and St. Ed's has become quite the offensive juggernaut themselves. Scoreboard operator better be getting a good night's sleep tonight, because they're going to light it up tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And also you will see St. Ignatius and North Royalton as well, and we'll have reports on that one as well tomorrow evening during the Mentor St. Ed game.
2 other great Division I teams, Ignatius, North Royalton with their first win under Coach Chuley. Let's see if they can catch lightning again this week and knock off St. Ignatius.
Should be a lot of fun. Mentor, St. Edward, 2 of the top in the state of Ohio, and with look-ins on St. Ignatius and North Royalton. That's what you get on a Saturday night here on Sports Time Ohio. Back with the second half in a moment.